Hello, everybody. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Dear representatives of the European Commission, dear representatives of national coalitions for digital skills and jobs, dear colleagues. My name is Jaroslav Faltýn. I'm from Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports of the Czech Republic. And I would like to welcome you at the Distance Learning, Safety, Efficiency and Well-being in the Czech Republic community-led event, which is being conducted by the Czech National Coalition with abroad partners and with the European Commission together as well. I would like to welcome you all very much as the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports of the Czech Republic and the Czech National Coalition for Digital Skills and Jobs have been working very intensively to support distance education for more than a year. And the COVID pandemic, of course, caught us unprepared, not only in the Czech Republic regarding many aspects of life, including education and learning of each individual participating or even not participating within the education. Schools, teachers and headmasters had to make sure that pupils and students will have their school materials delivered. Families had to make sure that they can secure access to internet for their children. Students had to start learning differently. And us, as the Ministry of Education and the National Pedagogical Institute, we had to make sure that schools have our full and maximum support. However, after a year, and so after the outbreak of the pandemic, we see that teachers and headmasters are doing an excellent job in relation to recent data of the Czech School Inspectorate in dealing with the situation, and families are doing what they can to make sure their children can fully participate in the distance learning. According to the recent data from the Czech School Inspectorates, the number of children who cannot attend the online education dropped very significantly to 1/5 between spring 2020 and 2021 as a result of various interventions. As the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports of the Czech Republic has released extra resources for schools to improve their digital devices equipment, not only in terms of hardware, but also in hiring the expert personnel. Together with the National Pedagogical Institute, we are providing methodological and personal support to schools, or we run specific websites devoted to distance learning. However, not only during the crisis, it is important to get inspiration from abroad, sharing the experience at the state or ministry level, hearing from the experts from private or either non-profit sector, and collecting the best practices are all important steps we all can take in order to improve the efforts. This is where I see activities of the Digital Coalition as this event as a huge help in providing the platform for the cooperation for major stakeholders involved in the field of digital education. And therefore, I would like to thank my Czech colleagues and the European colleagues as well from the Digital Skills and Jobs coalitions for organizing and conducting this event. But most importantly, I would like to thank to our dear guests from the national coalitions of the V4 countries. Thanks to our distinguished experts in panels, and thanks to all the viewers who are joining us today to chew up on distance learning as an still an essential topic of today. Thank you all very much. I wish you and us as well a highly beneficial event.
Thank you very much, Mr. Faltýn, for your speech and for making time in your busy schedule to join us today. Before I will pass the word to Brendan, please let me just go a bit back in our presentation in terms of presenting today's agenda. First of all, let me also welcome you on behalf of the Czech National, of the team of the Czech National Coalition for Digital Skills and Jobs. My name is Josef Dašek, and I'm the coordinator of the Czech National Coalition, or DigiKoalice, as we call it here in Czech. And as Mr. Faltýn aptly mentioned, the topic of our event is the distance learning with a major focus on safety, efficiency, and digital well-being. And the idea behind the community-led events is to encourage the exchange of experience and stimulate a deeper ties and collaboration within the digital skills and jobs community, which we are a proud part of. So really thank you also to my European colleagues. And I would like to just remind you all that this is first of our 2 events, and you are more than welcome to join us also in 14 days for the second event, but more about that in my closing remarks, not at the start. And also, please, you can see some participation guidelines now, I hope, where it is mentioned, and please use that, you take advantage of it. If you would have any questions, please do not hesitate to write them in chat so that we can track it and we can answer them maybe later on. So these are the basic participation guidelines, and what's on the agenda. You already heard the welcome and opening speech from Mr. Faltýn. Now Brendan is gonna take the floor and give us some overview of the Digital Skills and Jobs Coalition. Then Mr. Keitman, our distinguished guest from European Commission, is gonna take the floor and introduce the Digital Skills and Jobs platform. Then our distinguished guests from the national coalition across the V4 countries are gonna present their experience with distance learning in their countries. And then we will move to the individual panels. First is on safety and distance learning, which will be moderated by my dear colleague Lucy Gregurkova. And the second one will be moderated by me and will be on efficiency in distance learning and digital well-being. And this is our agenda. And now, without any further delays, I would like to pass the word to Brendan. Brendan, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Joseph, and we're delighted to be co-organising today's event with you within Czechia. I think from the coalition's point of view, it's very important that not just the Czech coalition is here today, but also many of the representatives from the V4. So we look forward to sharing that level. So if you go to the next slide, Joseph, I'd like to just introduce the participants here today, just to a quick introduction of what is the Digital Skills and Jobs Coalition, because we've mentioned it probably about 50 times in the first 10 minutes already, and I'd like to just provide the overview. So the Digital Skills and Jobs Coalition is a community which is supported by the European Commission. It's been in operation since 2016. And really what it does is offer a platform of exchange for stakeholders, for those organizations, those companies, those bodies that are working together to reduce the digital skills gap in Europe. It provides that community around which they can come together and support each other and also drive change across Europe, as we're all very familiar, and I'm sure Jakob from the Commission will go into shortly. The demand has never been greater, and I think today's topic specifically, as we've seen, really is benefiting from the experience of the last year where we've had, especially within distance learning and education. The coalition is nearly 560 members. These are spread not just within the European Union, but also within countries that are participating in Erasmus. So we've got some members from countries such as Turkey and also those countries within the Balkans regions. We have, of those, 169 pledges, and I'll go into that in a second. And really what the coalition does is look at 4 target groups. So today we'll be talking about education, but also the coalition looks at ICT professionals, the labour force, which also involves reskilling and upskilling, and also finally all citizens, so ensuring the digital skills for all is there. And of course the framework of today's discussion is taking part within the national coalitions, which are actually, we have 25 spread out across the EU, so 2 left, 2 in the making, if you allow me to say it that way, who are really, and I'm sure you're all experiencing from the great work between Joseph and Lucy, that action at a local level by bringing in those stakeholders that come in together. Going back to the pledges, if you just go to the next slide. Just to give you a brief overview of what they're about. The pledges really was a call for action across the European Union for organizations to really step up and make themselves known, and to really step up and take the challenge to provide digital skills directly to Europeans. So far, out of those 169, there have been 16.5 million beneficiaries reached. Of those, nearly 8.5 million have actually had direct training. As you can see, 53% of our initiatives are providing direct digital skills through training or placements. And another 37% of the initiatives are providing training to, providing support to accessing digital skills through things like certification. So we've had 4.4 million certified in that area. Our pledges tend to have a stronger representation amongst education. So I suggest everyone here today does go on to pledgebureau.eu to look out at the different types of pledges that are available. And also is where you can sign up to be a member if your organization is not yet a member of the coalition. We encourage you to do that as well. A small note is that we have also recently launched a new badge alongside the normal pleasure badges, which identifies those organizations who are pledging to support the digital upskilling, reskilling of the labour force, and where they can signal their dual contribution to the Pact for Skills. So really looking forward to great discussions today. Remember to everyone, if you wish to become a member of the coalition, you're not already, pledgebureau.eu and check out all the pledges there. So thank you very much, Joseph.
Thank you, Brendan. And now, with any further delays, I would like to pass the word to Mr. Keitman, who's gonna take care of the screen now, I suppose. So he's gonna share his screen and he's gonna introduce or give us an introduction to the Digital Skills and Jobs platform. So Jakub, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen so that, there you go, so that you
I'm starting to share right now. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Joseph. And thank you everyone for really tuning in. I would still like to divide my presentation into two smaller pieces or smaller parts. And the one would be a little bit about describing the current context where we are with digital skills and jobs in the EU, and then to dive into the platform as one of the key tools that we want to use together. But first of all, Mr. Faltýn already mentioned it, that the situation has dramatically changed, especially in the world of education and in terms of online learning and the burden on the teachers, and basically the need of upskilling and having digital skills and also having digital experts has not been any greater. And so recently the European Commission has published a communication or a strategy which is called Europe's Digital Decade, and you see that it's built on many pillars. I don't mention all of them, I just mentioned some of the main ones, and you clearly see that one of the aim or one of the big pillars is to ensure that generations, young and old, can all use technology, are able to use the technology. And also there is an important objective of reducing or deleting the gender gap in tech. And so you see how the Commission and the EU institutions are putting the upskilling in the digital field to really the forefront and to one of the most important items. And now more concretely, this communication on Digital Decade brought something that is called now Digital Compass, that you might be hearing more and more in the next months and years, because that will be really the way towards a more digital Europe in 2030. And more concretely in the area of skills, there are two big objectives that are set out. First one is to have 20 million ICT specialists in Europe. Currently we are at less than 10 million, so we really need to more than double by the 2030. And the second big objective is to have at least 80% of population with at least basic digital skills. And today we are at 58%. The Czech Republic is a little bit better at 62%, but still there is a long way to go. And of course, education and any form of education, being primary, secondary, university, lifelong learning, upskilling at work, all these forms of education should contribute to these targets. Apart from that, or next to this, there will also be the Digital Europe program, which will focus on advanced digital skills. And that's the part where you see the 580 million for advanced digital skills. And that will be rolled out very soon. And in the next 6-7 years, it will really finance actions and university programs and upskilling initiatives in the area of mainly advanced digital skills. And the last point here for the context, what the EU is doing in this area is the Recovery and Resilience Facility. So this is the fund. This is the nearly 700 billion euro fund that the EU will be using to invest and to mitigate the downsides of the pandemic and to help the society and the economy to recover. And 20% of all these investments are supposed to be dedicated to digital, including digital skills. Of course, not only digital skills, but also digital skills. And all the countries, including the Czech Republic, are now finalizing their national RRP plans. And we, of course, very much forward to seeing the final plans, but it is clear already from what we see that the Czech Republic will also have actions that will contribute to this objective and contribute to upskilling and digitally upskilling. Now, concretely, this one project that Josef mentioned that I wanted to show you today, or remind you of, if you are aware, maybe some of you already about it, it's the Digital Skills and Jobs platform. So Brandon already spoke about the coalition, which is a partnership. It's a movement. It's an initiative. You know, community working now very actively, pledging actions. But we want even more to strengthen the community, to enlarge it, and for anyone to be able to go in one place and to find everything that this person needs to know or wants to know about digital skills. And so that's why we will be launching the Digital Skills and Jobs platform. And this goes very much also in the spirit of today's meeting, because this will really strengthen collaboration, cooperation, networking, and exchange of good practices. So this is just a sneak preview of the homepage, where we want people to find easily information, either based on what they are, such as SME owner, training provider, or a for example, university or policymaker, or if people are interested in some topic, they will also be able very easily to find information. And in terms of real content, what will be available on the platform, it will of course host the overview of European initiatives, national strategies, funding opportunities, training opportunities. You see that there are many things that will be available on the platform, maybe some of them not really now, but in a very near future, because this is a long-term project. This is not something that we will launch and abandon. So this is really a tool that we will be using. And you see, of course, also the items linked to community and to collaboration and exchange of good practices. So hopefully, you know, the results in some time, you know, the result would be that not only you will have community-led events like today's one, but you will also have community discussions, topic-oriented discussions, or resources that you will be using this platform really to help you better shape your initiatives, or learn from each other, or find data insights or the latest information on European initiatives or national initiatives. So the last point is that if you want to be notified about this platform, and if you want to learn when it will be launched, you can go to this link. I will share it in the chat, so you don't need to type the URL to your browser, but I will share it in the chat. Just leave your email there, and we will let you know when we launch the Digital Skills and Jobs platform. We don't have the final launch date yet, but we are talking about a couple of weeks, late April, early May. That are our targets. And then we would definitely very much welcome you to visit us, to visit the platform, register, and become really the active members of the community. Thank you very much. And of course, if you have questions, maybe we don't have time, so feel free to paste them in the chat, and I can reply also in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jakub.